Hi guys, so I'm going to do a sample nail using that Unicorn Poop 2 mix that I made. So I'll have the link in the description bar for the actual mix. And so what I'm going to do first is mix our glitter mix with some acrylic. So I have here my Unicorn Poop 2 glitter mix. And then I have some Omega clear acrylic powder. And I'm just going to do half a teaspoon of each one because I want to have enough for to do a set later if I want to do one. So I'm going to do about half teaspoon of the clear acrylic, and I'm only going to be using maybe a quarter of a teaspoon of the mix because it's kind of chunky and I want it to mix correctly with the nice ratio. Usually I do half and half, but if you have a chunky mix you want to add a little bit more of the acrylic, okay? So there's that, and I'm going to mix it with the back end of my brush, and I think what I'm going to do is actually close it up and just shake it because this is a very small little pot. I do not know where these pots come from. They were a gift from Samu's mama, oh gosh, years ago, a year or two ago even now. So I'm going to put the lid on it and give it a good mix. I'll be using Omega products from Nail Light. So to begin, I'm going to use some ASP antibacterial spray. I'm just going to spray the nail. Normally what you would do, well, you can wait for this, but I'm going to wipe it off. You would want to take the shine off of your nail plate, and you would use a maybe 200 or 180 file. I have a 100, but this is a fake finger, so I don't care, but you would take the shine off your nail, and then you can come in with some nail prep. This one here is a dehydrant from IBD. I get it at Sally's. It smells like peaches, and it smells really great. Usually I put this on a little sponge or a little towel, and then I use it, but I'm just going to spray it this time. And I'm going to wipe it only because this is a fake finger, but otherwise you wouldn't just wipe it off. You would just leave it, okay? And then it would make your nail turn about white, kind of colored. I'm going to take my nail form, so we're going to be doing an almond-shaped nail, which is my favorite shape right now, but since I'm not doing my nails because I'm pregnant, I have to wait. I've been thinking about growing out my own nails to make them that shape, but I'm not that good. Alright, so I'm going to open this up and give this nail form a nice shape. And so let's get this on here. I don't care for working with these on these kind of fingers because what happens is the acrylic always wants to go under this area. If this had like a little lip, it'd be easier. If it's on your real nail, it's easy because it goes under the nail. But since this one doesn't have a nail, the acrylic always wants to seep under that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close it up so it's nice and sharp, kind of to a stiletto point. But we're not going to make it a whole stiletto. We're going to end here, so it's going to be more of a round shape, okay? So I'm not too worried about that. We're going to take our protein bond. It's what this one's called, but this is from Republic Nail. I hardly ever use it, so I'm going to use it for my sample nails now, just to get some use out of it. So I usually apply one coat, let that kind of set up as you do the whole hand. And then right before I apply the acrylic, I'll do another coat. So I'm going to open up this little jar of Omega monomer. And then I need my clear Omega again. Let's get everything in order. And then we're going to need our mix. And I have not done a nail since November, so let's see what happens. All right? Let's see if I still got it. Or maybe I might have lost my touch. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to dip in here. Get a little monomer. We're going to add one more layer of our primer, which is that protein bond. I'm going to pick up a little bit of clear because I just want to coat that nail so that the glitter doesn't just touch the base of the nail. And I'm tilting the hand kind of down towards me so that you don't want to encourage the acrylic to go into the cuticle area. And that would be the same for your nails as you work on them, or whoever you're working on. That was my son coughing. Poor little guy. And I'm going to give that a second to set up. Not too long, but I'm going to wait just a second. Okay, so now we're going to start working with our glitter mix. You can do a whole nail, form your whole nail with the clear acrylic if that's what you want to do, but I'm just going to go in there. This is a number 8 Nail Light Kolinsky brush, which I love. It's just a round brush. And if you want to squeeze it to make it more of an oval, you can definitely do that. So I'm picking up some acrylic, some of our mix, and I'm just going to do like a tip, but I'm also going to fade it down into the clear part here. So with this kind of thing, you don't want to pick up too much liquid because you don't want the acrylic to just run all over the place. Okay, so let me get a little bit closer. Oh gosh, I don't know why it doesn't do that. There we go. But you also don't want it to be too dry because then you're going to have a problem. So I would just you know, it takes some practice, but do what you can. And I think that's going to be good. That's plenty of glitter mix, acrylic, and everything else. We are going to encapsulate this too, so I'm just going to kind of fade some of those big chunky pieces down into the nail there. And so I'm going to let it set up just a little bit. As you can see, I'm kind of keeping it the shape of a rounded nail. And as it sets up, then you start kind of pushing and squeezing. This thing has a lot of different fun things in it. There's butterflies and stars and the glitter itself. So there's a lot going on here. And I'm trying to form it to a rounded tip. And of course, you're going to file that anyway to make it better. So I think that's good. As you can see, it's not running everywhere. I'm going to this fourth line from the tip. And that's how long I'll make all of them when I go to do the rest of the nails. If I was doing the whole hand, I would choose how high to do them and do them all the same. So I'm going to let this set up for a second, and then we'll come in with a clear coat to encapsulate. Ready to encapsulate it. Like I said, just wait like a minute or two. You don't have to wait too long. You can go right into it. It just makes it a little bit harder to control sometimes. So I'm going to go in here, grab some acrylic. I'm sorry, some monomer. Let me clean that off. You're going to get quite a bit because you can do this all at one time or in several steps, but I'm just going to grab a good amount that's not too dry and not too wet. You see how it's all brought up, and then it looks kind of nice and thick. I'm going to place it at the base of the nail and start kind of feathering it out towards the tip. Okay, and that's a good amount right there. I'm going to get a little bit more. This one's going to be a little bit less. I'm placing it closer to the cuticle area. Bring it towards the tip again, and then you can continue working with the acrylic, bringing it down towards the tip and making sure you cover up the whole surface of the nail, okay? And keeping a nice shape. You always want it to have a little bit more in this stress area here, so if you need to add another ball, you can definitely do that. I put plenty the first time, so all I'm going to do is just work with it to encapsulate the whole tip, and we're going to let that dry. So today it took about 5 minutes for this to dry, and you can tell when it's ready. You can tap it with your own nail or with the back end of your brush, and it sounds kind of hollow like that. It's ready to go. So I'm going to take off the form. Easier said than done sometimes on these fake nails. And so we're going to come in with the 100 grit file, and you're going to make sure your sidewalls, if your skin is touching at all, which is something people do a lot of times at the very beginning, it always gets on the side here, make sure you pull the skin away as you file in there. You don't want to file that skin because it will hurt. Same thing for the other side. Make sure your sidewalls are nice and straight. Start forming the tip, however it is that you want it to be formed. Square, you know, stiletto, oval, whatever, round. And then you want it to file the very top. Make sure it's all nice and smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's hard for me to do it in front of the camera this way, but you're going to file the sides. If you have electric file, of course, you can use that. And make sure that your cuticle edge is nice and sealed as far as not being too high. If you have too much, there's a lot of things that can cause lifting. One of them being touching the cuticle, touching the skin, if it's really thick in that area. So you want to make sure that's nice and what they call sealed, but basically not too thick in that area, okay? So I'm going to continue doing this until I get a nice shape, and once I have the shape I need, I'm going to take my buffing block, which is just like a 200 or 220 block or a puller block, and then go ahead and give it a nice surface. So I am done filing and all that. This poor hand. Anyhow, it kind of inspired me, the nail design I had done on my own nails, as you can see here, to do this one and the mix and everything. So what I'm going to do is put a little unicorn on here with just some quick stamping. So I'm just going to take out my stamping plate, and let me get that going. Oh, I'm going to get some acetone on my fingers, which is not good. Okay, so here's my little unicorn. I'm just going to put the unicorn on here, I think. I might end up doing some more, but we'll see. So this time the unicorn's right here. Put some black Conad Special Polish. I'm just going to scrape it really quickly. It's just the one image I'm going to do anyway. Scrape with a store card. Use my Conad stamper. Pick that image up. Oh, I'm dropping things over here. And I think I'm going to put the little unicorn like right here. Cute. So there she is. I'm going to give it a minute to set up, and then all I'm going to do is just come in and put a top coat. This time I use Seche Vite because it's just a practice nail, but you can use, of course, your UV top coat and then set it for however long that you need to in your UV light. So I hope you guys like this quick tutorial on this fun unicorn poop 2 inspired design, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.